What if a different Hashira went to the Swordsmith Village Arc and Demon Slayer? Go check out my posts and make sure to vote, because that's mainly where I get my next video ideas from. You guys pick this one. What if a different Hashira went to the Swordsmith Village Arc? So let's get right into it. So this video isn't my usual full retelling of the story, starting with Tanjiro's family and going all the way to Muzan's defeat in the final arc. This time, we're going to explore a bunch of different timelines, and I'll explain each of them. The whole point of this channel is to make these Demon Slayer what-ifs as accurate as possible, and that's exactly what I'm trying to do here. In this scenario, I'll be setting up at least 2 or 3 different matchups with different Hashira. We already know that Mitsuri Kanroji and Muichiro Tokito won't be in the arc anymore since we're swapping them out, but I am keeping Tanjiro, Nezuko, and Genya in the story. So honestly, I kind of want to set up an overpowered duo for this what-if. I'm going with the 2 Hashira who fought Upper Moon 1, Gyomei Himejima, the Stone Hashira, and Sanemi Shinazugawa, the Wind Hashira. Now, let's make something up here. Say Gyomei needs a new flail and axe because his old ones broke, and Sanemi either chipped or broke his sword while training. That would give both of them a reason to head over to the Swordsmith Village Arc. So let's keep this one quick. We see Gyomei at the hot spring, but let's skip past that. The real story picks up when Tanjiro is fixing Nezuko's hair. That's when Sanemi walks into the room and wakes him up, probably pinching his nose or hitting him, kind of like how Muichiro did in the original timeline. Sanemi then asks if Tanjiro has seen a certain swordsmith, just like in the manga. Tanjiro says no, and that's when Upper Moon 4, Hantengu, shows up. But here's where it changes. This time, Sanemi reacts faster than Muichiro did originally, and the fight starts right away. Unlike Muichiro, Sanemi doesn't get blasted away at the beginning, he's simply on a different level. Muichiro was already crazy strong for being only 14, but Sanemi is older, more experienced, and far more aggressive. So now, instead of Muichiro being separated, we've got Sanemi staying in the fight alongside Tanjiro, Nezuko, and Genya against Upper Moon 4. And since we swapped out Mitsuri for Gyomei, that means Gyomei fills Mitsuri's role in this arc. Just like Mitsuri did in the original story, Gyomei is the one who arrives later, returning to the village to join the battle. So let's talk a little more about Gyomei. Once he gets back to the village, he basically takes over Mitsuri's role from the original story. He protects the chief of the village and wipes out all the underlings of Upper Moon 5, Gyoko. But here's where things change. Since Gyomei already knows Sanemi is helping Tanjiro's group, he goes directly to face Gyoko himself. Now, let's set that battle aside and go back to the fight with Upper Moon 4, Hantengu. This time, it's Sanemi, Tanjiro, Nezuko, and Genya all fighting together. In the original timeline, Mitsuri came in to support Tanjiro, Genya, and Nezuko, but in this version, that role is gone, so it's up to Sanemi to fill that spot instead. The Upper Moon 5 fight is honestly the easiest one for Gyomei. In the original story, Mitsuri unlocked her Demon Slayer mark during this battle, but we can't have that here, because as Kokushibo himself said, once a Hashira awakens their mark, they're almost guaranteed to die within a short time. So in this timeline, we'll keep Gyomei from unlocking it. But even without the mark, I have full confidence Gyomei could defeat Gyoko with ease. He'd protect everyone in the village better, take less damage overall, and wouldn't need a sudden power-up in the middle of the fight. When the time comes for Tanjiro to land the finishing blow on Gyoko, Gyomei is the one who throws him the final sword. He stands by, making sure Tanjiro can do it safely, and watches as the demon is finally slain. So in this version, the Upper Moon 5 battle goes smoothly. Gyomei comes out stronger, healthier, and still ready for the fights ahead. That about wraps up this timeline, but I think we've got time to fit in one more. So let's dive right into the next one. So I've been thinking about this for a while, and for the last scenario in this video, I want to pair up Giyu and Shinobu. The reason I'm picking them is because they went to the Mount Natagumo arc together, and they've always had a little bit of chemistry. I thought it'd be interesting to explore that more, almost like a love story element in this what if. So here's how we'll do it. In this timeline, Shinobu takes Mitsuri's role, and Giyu fills in as Muichiro replacement. With that setup, let's get right into it. So now, let's run through all the dialogue and events in this version. Since Giyu is taking Muichiro's role here, he goes into Tanjiro's room and asks if he's seen the swordsmith, the one who forges Nichiren blades. Of course, Tanjiro says no. While they're talking, Upper Moon 4, Hantengu, appears. Giyu reacts immediately and slices off his head, but just like in the original story, the demon splits into multiple bodies. Unlike Muichiro though, Giyu doesn't get blasted away. He's much stronger, and since he even created his own 11th form, Dead Calm, he's considered the 3rd strongest Hashira overall. So in this timeline, he holds his ground with ease. Now, he wouldn't be quite as reckless or aggressive as Sanemi, who would normally charge headfirst into all of the clones. But Giyu is still a huge help, calmly holding back all 4 emotion clones, while Tanjiro, Nezuko, and Genya focus on tracking down the main body. Meanwhile, Shinobu is on her way back to the village, filling Mitsuri's role in this version. That means she's the one who ends up facing Upper Moon 5, Gyoko. Back to the Upper Moon 4 fight. Things play out mostly the same as the original timeline. Giyu Giyu doesn't need as much backup though, since he can handle the 4 clones with his water-breathing techniques. This frees up the others to finish off the main body much quicker. Tanjiro eventually lands the finishing blow with Nezuko and Genya's help, bringing the battle to an end. The big change is with Upper Moon 5. Shinobu isn't known for raw power, but in this fight, her speed and poison actually make her a dangerous match for Gyoko. He's fast too, but Shinobu can dodge his water prison techniques and avoid getting trapped. She'd need to bring a massive amount of poison with her to break through his regeneration, but with enough precision, I think she could win. In this timeline, Shinobu even awakens her Demon Slayer mark during the fight. She may be considered the physically weakest Hashira, but with her intelligence, poison mastery, and now the mark boosting her abilities, she manages to overwhelm Gyoko. Finally, just like in the original story, she throws Tanjiro the finishing sword, and he cuts off Hantengu's main body's head. That ends the battle completely, and wraps up this what-if scenario. And this time, since Shinobu has the Demon Slayer mark, she would definitely last longer in the Infinity Castle. But even with that power-up, I still think she'd eventually perish at the hands of Doma. Overall though, I think this makes for a really solid what-if scenario. If you guys have any other Demon Slayer what-if ideas, drop them down in the comments. I'm always looking for new suggestions, so if you've got a really good one, let me know. I hope you enjoyed this video, and let me know if you'd like me to make more different what-ifs like this one.